It's been a while since I've actually shot a video in here. My movie review room. That's yeah, good times. Except there's a poster behind me and the bass guitar is in a case over there. But this this has been in my. I wanted to do something like this for a while before I started editing another video. So um, because usually on this channel I usually do movie reviews, which I used to do. And now I do the music video show and live streams, but I wanted to talk to something that I touched about on my Mass Effect 4 live stream. Um, I was talking about introversion and like how my personality in real life is. Um, like it's not the same. How I am on camera isn't like how I am in real life. Like I go over the top, I say some dark things on my videos, but right, like the real me is actually kind of introverted and whatnot. Like I'm wearing this like more gothic clothing, but it's more I'm kind of more mild mannered outside of being with friends, which I'm really weird. Um, but I wanted to talk about introversion or how I really am because I've read Sarah Kane's The Power of Introverts, and I have the book, and I love the book because it shows like it kind of tells how I feel, even though I couldn't express it, and it's mm, and I've listened to her TED talk about 4 times, and it tells her how she used her introversion into her advantage, how she grew up, and I kind of wanted to talk about it since I saw other people use their channels to talk about introversion, and I wanted to just talk about how I was. Um, as a kid, I was a loud kid. I was annoying in my classes. I made bad jokes, and people stayed away from me. And I wasn't always, and admittedly, looking back, I wasn't like there that funny. I was never that funny. Um, but the thing was like I kind of showed my introversion. I was always really quiet compared to my two sisters. Like I have two sisters, one that's 2 years younger, and the other that's about 7 or 8 years younger. 7 years younger, yeah, 6 years younger. Either way, she's younger than me. And they're both relatively loud and they go out with friends while I just stay home and mind my own business. And I was always like that, but um, like usually I just rather stay home and read other than rather than going to parties or just edit a video. Um, I remember um, when I was in elementary school, and my next door neighbor was having a party, and I couldn't wait because I wanted to go to a party because I was one of those people who wanted to go to out sometimes. And it was a birthday party for one of my neighbors, and I couldn't wait. But up to that point, I decided, you know what? While I wait, I'm going to read a book while I wait for like an hour or something. And so in this. I was in this room. I was on this bed, like this camera's on the bed, and I was reading The Shining for an hour, and I thought to myself, this is really nice, actually. And then when it was time for us to go, and I went to the party, 5 minutes later, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I mean, I'm glad I'm surrounded by people who know me, who I know personally, but I'd rather just be back here and just, go back to reading and then sleeping. And I think that's pretty much the beginning of who I am kind of now, because like I was always a loud child when I was in elementary school, but at the same time around my family I was really quiet and I don't say much. And I like to joke that I was the oldest middle child because um my sisters were always like talking a lot and I would just, stay in my room. And in high school I was kind of the same thing except I was a little bit quieter. I remember in grade 9 I didn't talk to anyone for a while, mostly because I just wanted to like stay silent, like stay away from the person who tried to be an extrovert. And I'm not saying extroversion is wrong. It's just that slowly I realized that I wanted to be more quiet and kind of introspective and whatnot. In high school I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna be more quiet, and some classes I didn't talk at all. I always had like a friend who was with me in elementary school, but I barely talked at all anyway. Um, the only exception where I was really excited was when I was in drama class because I thought, because when I was in drama class I could be another person. I wouldn't have to be myself. I could just be another person because there was no improvisation. Well, there was some improvisation. It was just that I'd rather, have a script with my in my hands. And in grade 9, I had two classes, which was I think history and drama. And one day, my dad and I went to a parent-teacher interview, and our first stop was at the history with my history teacher, and she was like, "Okay, he does decent work. Your son does really decent work, but he doesn't talk that much. He doesn't actually talk. He just minds his own business. But sometimes I sneak into the drama class and I see him, and he just talks like like he's a totally different person. And that's because I'd rather just be another person in another class because in history class, that drama thing, me and drama doesn't fit in history or another class, so it's like, okay, in drama class I could literally become another person. I could be someone else, not myself, and I could memorize a script and I would be fine because apparently, like on stage, I'm apparently very fearless because we I've been in several plays in drama, and I eventually went to college for acting and voice and camera, where I was happy because I was around people who wanted to be who were in the same position as I was, and it was it went really well because I got to memorize scripts. I get to channel my emotions because since I kind of an introvert, like in this house, I could to memorize scripts and or scenes, and I just wanted to know how my character would actually react to things. And that's why I decided to like do videos because even though I'm an introvert, I just like to channel my energy into something that like most people who don't know me think I don't do. And that's why a lot of people who I work with think I'm very, very quiet, but at the same time, I just do things like this channel where I'm a completely different person who makes such dark humor, like dark comedy jokes that blatant on offensive. And at and at work, I don't even say that much. Like there are days where I don't actually like for 3 days straight. Sometimes at one point, I never said a word because I don't have anything to say. Like everybody else can talk, I don't mind, but like I'd rather just be alone because that's how I recharge my batteries. Like if some of you might not know, extroverts like my sisters actually get a lot of energy and their batteries are recharged by social gatherings and talking to a lot of people. But as an introvert like I am, I just want to be alone. Like That's why one of my favorite moments, when for the past few weeks, whenever my days are off, my family's at work or doing something and I'm home alone, and I would just rather just be in my room or doing a live stream or like watching videos or editing, like legitimately like chilling out or whatever it is. Not Netflix and chill. It's just like being alone, recharging my batteries just by being alone. And that's what I rather do like at work. Like I work with people, so I'm surrounded by people about 8 hours a day. So at work, but what happens on every work day? I usually because I've been doing this for about going. I've been working for about 4 years, and for the past 2 years, I usually just get up at like 9 in the morning and have a few books in my bag. Then I go to the library, and then I either drop books off or get more books because that to be read that to read pile is keeps piling up constantly. Like I would go to the library and it's like, okay, Kareem, just drop off these two books and then get out. And then not 15 minutes later, I come out of the library, my bag with 6 books that I just checked out. I'm like, Kareem, you're an idiot. How are you gonna do this? And then because I've always been a reader, like books and me have always connected since I was in the second grade, or around the time my mom used to take me to the library um, for story time when I was very little. So that's when my love affair with books started. Like, I could do a book tour, but that is going to take several minutes, and I don't have the time. I wish, but I have books like in this drawer right here and like those drawers. I have a whole book tote that my dad bought me, and it's already filled up. So my dad actually had to get another one for more books and library books, which I keep borrowing, but nonetheless. So after I go to the library, I go straight to a Tim Hortons, which is a walk away from my workplace, and I just go into a corner by myself and read. Like just stay away and read. And recently I used to have headphones in my ears on my way to work or whatnot, but then I just stopped because I'm like, maybe I should just enjoy the quietness. And I have for the past month. I haven't taken out my MP3, which some people don't even know what an MP3 don't know what I'm talking about, since everybody has Apple products like iPads and whatnot. I have an MP3 because I've had an MP3 ever since I was in the 10th grade, and I stopped taking that out after like an MP3 out or something to listen to outside of my house for right now a month because I just wanted to like have like my brain just wants to experience quietness outside instead of having something in my ear. And it has worked because I use the bus and I read. Then I go to the Tim Hortons near my workplace and I read there. And then I have a medium hot chocolate and I use my phone and read. And then at a certain point, I just um, walk to work. Like my shift doesn't start for like a couple of hours, but I just like to, change into my work clothes and just read for a couple of hours. And that time from when I leave the house to when I leave the locker room, like a couple of hours later, where I read, that's what I need the most because it actually does recharge my batteries. That's the time I really need to myself. And again, like I said before, I don't talk to anybody at work. Like everybody has their own group, but I'd rather just not talk to anybody because I just work hard. And while I do work, I think of jokes for the show, for like the music video show. I just think of jokes, and it usually takes me like a week to do like at least 5 days to do a script, and then On my first day off, I'll shoot an episode. I'll rehearse and then shoot it, and then the next time, and then the next day, or even later after that, I'll edit the episode. So and actually, it actually does pretty good because it helps me since I don't talk to anybody. Me working actually rejuvenates my brain, and at every break, I just sit alone. Like I usually sit at the same place in our break room for at least 10 to 15 minutes and just read. And that break time, that 10 those 3 break periods, first and third break is 15 minutes, the second break is 30 minutes. That's what I need to like recharge. Like no one bothers me whenever I'm on break because I'm just reading and drinking water because I actually just need to be alone, just need to recharge. I just need to focus so I can get back to work and just think about what I read and what jokes I could make in these videos that I'm doing. Um, and it's actually really amazing whenever I actually do have time alone in the house because again, um, it's really draining sometimes whenever I actually do talk to people. Like I have like for a perfect example, the Black Friday um when I was at the mall all day with my friends for Black Friday. It was fun at first. Like I really enjoyed hanging out with my friends, but I've never been to the mall for that long. I've never been to the mall from when it opened or nearly when it opened to when it was closing. So I was there from 10:30 a.m. to around 8:45 and I was exhausted and I was like well, I could barely lift my head up. I was actually getting tired around 3 p.m., but I just wanted to keep going, because I haven't been with my friends for a while. And the good thing is I actually did buy this at a store, so it wasn't a total loss. But yeah, when I got home, I just did yoga, which I usually do. I've been doing for about a year and a half, like before bed. I do yoga exercises, and then when I finished that, I just fell completely to sleep because I could barely keep my head up. But for the next 3 weeks, for the days I had off, it was actually pretty. It was pretty nice because I was alone for a lot of it. Like everybody else in the evening would be out of the house, and I would be alone, just watching Futurama with commentary, which is actually really good. Actually, if you like Futurama or if you like your favorite shows, watch it with commentary because you'll learn all sorts of things. But I'm getting away from myself. But as an introvert, all I need and kind of fast sometimes is time alone because again, I just really need it because it'll drain me if I keep doing that. Like at work, I'm not that tired because I'm working and I don't talk to people unless something is like off, like something is wrong, and I have to like in terse words, like because at work I'm kind of a terse talker. I say, hey, something's wrong with this. You did something wrong, and like that. But other than that, I don't talk to people, and because of the way, since I don't talk to anybody at work, again, at work, whether it's like working with people or on break, um, I just would rather, um, it actually works in my advantage because since I don't talk to many people, it gives me energy to keep going for 8 hours and then go get home, not really be tired, but then, a couple hours later, I'll just fall dead asleep. But the most precious moments of my week is just being alone, like home alone. Yeah, I'll get texts from my friends, yeah, but I'd rather just, you know, be by myself. Not all the time, but just need time to think, time to breathe, time to recharge. And when I was reading these books about introversion, like Sarah Kane's Quiet Book, and there are other books which like how introverts find love, which is another topic that I want to do another time, but not now. Um, but yeah, um, it's shown these books have actually shown me like you don't actually have to be afraid in terms of like either being an introvert or an extrovert. Like some people have asked me at work why I'm so quiet, and it's because I don't have anything to say. Well, I don't. I just would rather be alone, and that's the best thing you can ask for an introvert, because introverts will come to you. And I have very few friends, but the friends I have and still have, I love because they understand me and I understand them, and they get that I need space. And there are people at work who don't get it at first, but eventually they see how I work, and they're like, okay, we kind of get it. Like if a new person at work would ask me if why I'm so quiet, and I say I don't have anything to say, to the point where they think I'm mute. I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not actually shy. If I show them this channel, they're gonna think I'm insane. Especially my movie reviews. But I'm not shy. I just don't talk a lot. My sisters talk a lot. My entire family does talk a lot, even though there are some introverts. Yeah, but I'd rather just, I'm one of those people who would rather just stay at home instead of going to a party, or just flat out hanging out with a group of friends and just playing video games or just talking and whatnot. And with friends, I'm a totally different person. Like, I'll make jokes, like horrifyingly dark jokes around them, but, yeah, I'd rather, like, again, there are times, I'm repeating myself, there are times I'd rather just, browse the internet and, listen to music, like CDs, which I still buy. Um, even though like my wardrobe um is another thing entirely, because it's like, oh, he wears all black and has black nail polish, and he has braids. That means that must mean he's an extrovert. It's like, no, I just like what I just like wearing black, and I like skulls. I have several skulls. Okay, I'm off track. I'm off topic. Oh, this was a lot more easier when I was talking about this live stream on my Mass Effect Andromeda live stream. I just wanted to like talk about all of this, like do something completely different, do a vlog, because like after this I'm gonna be editing another video, and you know, so to all you introverts out there, just keep on keeping on. Just don't tell anybody to change who you are, because I've had a couple of moments of that, but I've actually been questioned about that. But it works out if you know what you're doing. If you're passionate, because introverts always surprise people. Like I said about high school, I surprised my history teacher when I'm in drama class. Like I surprised uh, her. I surprised her. I surprised a lot of people who think I'm quiet. And I was in several plays in high school. Like I never knew. Some people are like, I never knew you could do that. Like be on stage. You're so quiet. I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm passionate about something I like to do, and that's why I like doing these videos. Like I don't know if I would do another. No, I want to do another vlog. It's just that I just need the time to focus, because I feel like I'm rambling for almost 25 minutes at this point. um, so you introverts out there, to you introverts out there, just keep on keeping on. Be who you are. If you need time to be alone, just just um go off in a quiet corner and just recharge. And extroverts, if you're complaining about this, about your introverted friends, you just think about how like if how you would feel if somebody just pulled you away from a crowd they were talking to, like an extrovert being pulled away from a crowd while in the middle of them talking is like pulling an introvert away from like the space of quiet place of a good book and a medium hot chocolate, which I do every day before I go to work because I just need that space. Like to the point where people at the Tim Hortons in my workplace know exactly what I want because I've been going there for 2 years. Like sometimes I don't even have to say a word. It's just like before I go to the cashier, it's like medium hot chocolate. I'm like, yeah. I went there so much. Like at one point, because I always have a book in my hand. A couple of occasions, like one of the people who work there, we actually did discuss the books I read, and at another point, because I was sitting in the same spot for about 3 weeks, another guy, a guy who didn't work there, is like looking over my book, is like, hey, this must be a good book. I'm like, yeah, it's good. And to the point where I may have seen the same people, but I'm not sure because my head is just completely in a book, and that's what I need. I keep repeating myself. That's exactly what I need. So I'm actually glad I got all of this off my chest. I'm sure I'm forgetting. I'm sure I'm forgetting things that I wanted to say in this 27-minute video, but I just wanted to, just talk about how I am in this rambling thing. So, should I do more vlogs like this if you guys want, or should I just stop and just keep talking in my live streams, or just don't talk about this at all? Just different topics. You know, every once in a while, just rack my head up, think about what I want to say before it goes into a half hour. So, thank you for watching, and see you later.